So these two collections we have today perfectly exemplify the kind of things that are being done that really set Strata apart from anything else that exists out there. This is probably one of the most elaborate systems for dynamic control in Reaper that I've actually ever seen. It's kind of crazy. So aside from the sounds themselves, this should provide a pretty cool learning opportunity for designers at any experience level to see like what is really possible in terms of programming things inside of Reaper. So to start, I'm in Combat Walla, the first collection. It has one project, Walla, so let's dig into that. All right, so here's what it looks like when we first open it up. And yeah, it could be a little bit overwhelming the first time you see it. Let me just scroll through and just get a quick lay of the land before we dig in and play around. So yeah, you can see lots of tracks, lots of folders. I think there's just over 300 total tracks. But now what I'm going to do is I'll scroll back up to the top here. I'll expand these out so you can really get a sense of the magnitude of what's inside this project. So we have a few different types of performances over here. You can kind of see. I'm going to start with fighting. Let's take a quick listen. All right, so zero these out, and let's start with size. So as I increase that, we get a larger number of soldiers, or what have you. And then if I increase the intensity, listen to how the tonality changes. It's a little bit more intense, as you would expect. And then last, I'll change the distance. So we have a combination of EQ and compression going on here to give it that effect. And let's increase the size a little bit more. So that's a lot going on now. Maybe I'll incorporate some female in here as well now. Maybe put them further in the back. So you can certainly see the possibilities. Breaking down the actual track groupings, aside from male and female, we have calm and intense for each of them. So just scrolling through here, this is the calm. So it starts with a small group. Then we have a medium group, which is about 5 males. And then it goes to the large group. Again, that's about 10 males. And then you can see an increase in track count. And then it goes to huge, which is each track being a group of 25 males. And then we have a considerably larger number of tracks. Just for, posterity, here's what the calm group sounds like by itself. I have the size set relatively small. Now, scrolling down here to the intense composite, solo that. So just for important reference, since there are a lot of composites in here, the composite male and composite female tracks, these actually aren't routed to their parents or to any output. They're really just for region rendering only. What you're actually hearing most of the time is from the composite mixed output here, these group of tracks. And you have kind of control over blending the small, medium, and large, and the intense versus the calm. And all 8 of these tracks have the male and female routed to them. So just one more layer I wanted to point out really quick, which is there for both male and female, obviously, which is the movements. So just take a listen. So yeah, you kind of get a nice Doppler effect from these performances as they're recorded while moving. It's pretty cool. All right, let's get under the hood with the macros and see how they're actually controlling enrage on the tracks. So I put some automation for size right here so we can see it in real time how it moves. And let's just open up any one of these. So you can see this mapping size is controlling the gain here. Open up another one. You can see this one starting to come in. See the gain slowly moving. So that mapping sort of cascades as the size and intensity increase. Both of those macros are actually affecting the gain and kind of work together in tandem. Again, I put some automation for distance, and where this lives is on any one of the group tracks. So I could go to group small. You can see the macro affecting distance, adjusting the frequency and gain of this parametric EQ. Let's listen to a couple other performances as well. So we have, let's listen to begging. Should be a good contrast. And then celebration, another good contrast. So yeah, definitely a lot happier than the fighting, as you can tell. All right, moving over to the Combat Callouts collection. So for this one, we have two projects. We have callouts, and then we have single voices. So we're going to get even more granular here with this collection in terms of what we can do. Let's start with callouts. Now, in terms of structure, it's going to resemble exactly what we saw before in Walla. So let me go ahead and expand it really quick. Callouts are also short and have no loops or movement layers. It's just expected that these would be used as 3D position sounds. All right, so here's War Cry. Of course, it's how it sounds right out of the box. Let me play around with some of the macros a little bit. Maybe I'll make it more female dominant here. Maybe a little bit more distant. All right. Listen to a couple more. Here's Death. Fear. And Celebration. Both collections have an additionals layer and a cinematic layer that are muted by default, but let's play around with the cinematic layer here for just a quick example. So there's some different reverbs on here and a fattener. Let's play with this stadium reverb a bit. You can see we have some macros inside of Enrage here as well that we could mess around with. So maybe I make the room size a little bigger, change the distance a bit. I could bring in this fattener here as well. A little more low frequency action going on there. So there's a lot programmed in there for you to kind of get just the right vibe that you might be going for. And moving into single voices. So you can sort of guess what we're going to find in here, but these are really great because they can sweeten up all the callouts or the Walla they might be using. So there's an attack, hit, death, oh, that was intense, fear. And then the one thing I really like is in addition to some of these like grunts and moans, there's actually even some vocal call outs of specific phrases. So I could go, ooh, this is going fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole!
Yeah. This one's awesome.
Hold to ground!
And of course, you can also control the distance on these as well. So maybe I'll put that in the back.
Hold to ground!
Now, having made my adjustments, I'm going to select some regions, and then I can render those out to get the now customized versions. So yeah, between these 3 projects and the 2 collections that we have here, you can combine this with a lot of other Strata collections as well and come up with some really great material for whatever your project needs are. So thank you again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can see new collections and videos as they're released. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out the Strata sample collections. They're totally free to use, royalty free in perpetuity, as are all Strata library sounds as specified in the EULA, so feel free to use them in any project. So take care, and I will see you in the next Strata video that you watch.